17, 2024, News Report 1. The Ukraine Peace Summit was held in Switzerland from June 15 to June 16. According to Agence France-Presse, this is the largest international conference since the outbreak of the Ukraine war, and the most important peace process without United Nations involvement since the end of the Cold War. Representatives from over 90 countries attended the summit. During the summit, 80 countries signed a joint declaration condemning Russia's aggression and calling for dialogue to restore peace. The declaration also called for all parties to the conflict to participate in the peace process and cease hostilities. It demanded Russia return Ukrainian children taken away and ensure the safe operation of Ukraine's nuclear power plants and facilities under Ukraine's full control, including the Zaporizhzhia and Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plants occupied by Russia. Russia was not invited to the summit, while China, although invited, did not attend. The Associated Press reported that U.S. National Security Advisor Sullivan said at the summit that the absence of Chinese representatives was because Putin asked them not to come, and China agreed to Putin's request. This indicates China's stance in the Russia-Ukraine conflict is closely watched. The summit is widely seen as a platform for international support for Ukraine's peace plan. President Zelensky proposed a peace plan in December 2022, including the complete withdrawal of Russian troops from Ukraine and the restoration of Ukraine's territorial integrity, including Crimea and the Donbas region. Technical and ministerial meetings will be held thereafter, followed by a second peace summit. The Swiss government stated that the purpose of the summit was to launch the Ukrainian peace process and promote future peace talks involving both Russia and Ukraine to establish a lasting peace framework based on international law. News Report 2. China's Ministry of Commerce announced on June 17 that it had launched an anti-dumping investigation into pork and pork products from the European Union. The investigation started on June 17 and is expected to end by June 17, 2025, but may be extended by 6 months. The move is seen as a signal, with the Ministry of Commerce stating that the investigation is in response to an application from the China Animal Agriculture Association. China is the world's largest consumer of pork, accounting for half of global pork consumption. Last year, China produced 57.94 million tons of pork, of which 1.55 million tons were imported, valued at €5.6 billion. Half of China's imported pork comes from Europe, with major importing countries including Spain, France, Denmark, and the Netherlands. Spain is the largest exporter to China, exporting 560,000 tons of pork worth €1.2 billion last year, accounting for 20% of Spain's total pork exports. The Spanish Ministry of Agriculture stated that the Chinese investigation could last a year and hopes to negotiate with China to avoid tariffs on pork. An EU Commission spokesperson stated that measures would be taken to ensure that China's anti-dumping investigation complies with WTO rules. China's anti-dumping investigation into EU pork is seen as retaliation for the EU's imposition of tariffs on Chinese electric cars last week. According to Rongding Group data, China exported €100 billion worth of electric cars to Europe last year, while the amount involved in this investigation is relatively small. Therefore, analysts believe that China's retaliatory measures may not have a significant impact on this matter. News Report 3. According to Deutsche Welle, Chinese Premier Li Keqiang began his visit to Australia on June 15, aiming to improve Sino-Australian relations. On June 16, Li visited Australia's wine region and the Adelaide Zoo, where he announced the provision of a new pair of pandas in exchange for the 2 pandas, Wang Wang and Funi, which have been in Adelaide Zoo for 15 years. While officials stated it was a gift, it is more likely to be a lease, as China typically leases giant pandas to other countries. On the morning of June 17, Li held talks with Australian Prime Minister Albanese in Canberra. The two sides signed several bilateral cooperation agreements covering defense and military dialogue, bilateral trade, education and research cooperation, climate change, and cultural exchanges. Albanese stated that Australia would cooperate with China as much as possible, but would maintain different opinions when necessary, and interact based on national interests. Li told reporters after the meeting that the two sides had had candid, in-depth, and productive talks and agreed to handle bilateral relations with a positive attitude. Li also announced that Australia has been added to the list of countries eligible for unilateral visa-free entry into China for 15 days. In addition, China and Australia have agreed to issue 5-year multiple-entry visas for tourism, business, and family visits. At noon on June 17, Albanese hosted a luncheon for Li in Canberra. However, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation reported that Albanese mistakenly welcomed Li as Li Keqiang in his speech, prompting Li to blink as he listened. Interestingly, Australian Chinese journalist Cheng Lei, who had been detained by China, appeared in the media area where the bilateral cultural exchange agreement was signed, but Chinese officials tried to block the media from filming Cheng. Video footage shows two Chinese officials standing next to Cheng, blocking the camera's view. Australian officials repeatedly asked them to move, but were refused. Eventually, Cheng exchanged seats with another journalist, but Chinese officials tried to stand next to her, only to be blocked by Australian officials. The standoff continued in the aisle next to Cheng's seat, and Cheng had to smile at the camera behind her. Cheng Lei was a journalist for China Global Television Network, CGTN, and was detained in 2020. She was released in October last year and currently works as a journalist for Sky News Australia. Cheng said that China was worried she would become a symbol and tried to prevent her from speaking or acting at the venue, which she described as very ugly. News Report 4. According to Voice of America, the China Coast Guard announced that a Philippine supply ship entered the vicinity of Renai Reef on June 17. The Philippine supply ship ignored Chinese warnings and intentionally approached Chinese ships sailing normally in an unprofessional manner, leading to a collision between the two sides. The Chinese Coast Guard took control measures against the Philippine ship. According to Reuters, Trinidad, director of the Philippine military's Public Affairs Office, said that the Philippines would not accept China's deceptive and misleading statements. Trinidad also pointed out that the continued aggressive actions of the Chinese Coast Guard are escalating tensions in the region. Additionally, according to Radio France Internationale, the Philippines submitted an application to the United Nations on June 15, requesting to extend its continental shelf in the South China Sea from 200 nautical miles to 350 nautical miles. Under Article 76 of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, coastal states have the right to determine the outer limits of their continental shelf, including the seabed area beyond 200 nautical miles, but not exceeding 350 nautical miles. In 2009, the Philippines submitted a sovereignty appeal to the United Nations, seeking confirmation that the 200 nautical miles starting from the Benham Rise east of Luzon Island belong to the Philippines. The United Nations approved the Philippines' application in 2012, and there is no sovereignty dispute with China within this 200 nautical mile range. However, if the Philippines' sovereignty extends from 200 nautical miles to 350 nautical miles, it will be in dispute with China. Although China has claimed sovereignty over this area since ancient times, international law confirmed in 2016 that China's sovereignty claim has no legal basis. Furthermore, according to Deutsche Welle, the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute released a report on June 16 stating that as of January this year, the total number of nuclear warheads worldwide is 12,000, with 9,585 usable nuclear warheads. In reality, 3,004 nuclear warheads are already loaded on missiles or aircraft, an increase of 60 from last year, and an additional 2,100 nuclear warheads are deployed or in a high state of readiness. The report pointed out that Russia has the most nuclear warheads, with 5,580. The number of nuclear warheads in the United States during the Cold War has decreased to 5,044. China's nuclear warhead count is 500, an increase of 90 from last year, the largest increase, but not the highest number. The report also noted that China currently has 238 intercontinental ballistic missiles capable of carrying nuclear warheads, the highest in a decade. The U.S. Department of Defense's China Military Power Report last year stated that as of May last year, China had more than 500 nuclear warheads and continues to build new nuclear arsenals. News Report 5. According to reports, the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection of China announced on June 17 that 3 central government officials were expelled from the party. These 3 individuals are Li Pengxin, Deputy Party Secretary of the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, Wang Yisin, Deputy Governor of Heilongjiang Province, and Qin Yuxiang, Deputy Secretary of the Discipline Inspection Commission of Hebei Province. These 3 were all taken down in December last year and were only announced half a year later. The announcement stated that Li Pengxin cultivated personal power, was disloyal and dishonest to the organization, sold offices and titles, and severely polluted the local political ecology. Li Pengxin, 64, has been working in Inner Mongolia for a long time. Wang Yisin associated with political swindlers, resisted organizational investigation, concealed family property situations, and engaged in power for sex transactions. Wang Yisin, 59, served as Deputy Secretary General of Hainan Province in 2004 and was transferred to Deputy Governor of Heilongjiang Province in 2013. Qin Yuxiang was fond of eating, drinking, and enjoying himself, intervened in judicial activities, and engaged in power for money transactions. The centralized announcement of the expulsion of the 3 central government officials may be related to the upcoming 3rd plenary session. The South China Morning Post reported that on June 12, the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection released a video interpreting the Communist Party of China's disciplinary regulations. The video emphasized that after the party Central Committee makes a decision, party members must resolutely implement it, and public statements contrary to the party Central Committee's decisions are strictly prohibited. The video pointed out that party members should not publicly express opinions contrary to the party Central Committee's decisions on major issues, otherwise they will be seriously dealt with. The Communist Party of China's disciplinary regulations were revised for the 3rd time in December last year, and the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection has continued to issue various interpretations, including video interpretations. Current affairs commentator Deng Yuan stated that the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection issued these interpretations before the 3rd plenary session to unify thinking and regulate speech and behavior inside and outside the party. Although the South China Morning Post's report is somewhat exaggerated, this disciplinary action does show the efforts of the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection to strengthen discipline within the party and unify thinking. News Report 6. According to Thai Nation report, due to the dumping of cheap Chinese goods, Thailand is now experiencing a wave of factory closures. Data released by the Thai Industrial Engineering Bureau shows that in the first 5 months of this year, 488 factories in Thailand closed down, with nearly 100 factories closing down each month on average. During the COVID-19 pandemic in 2021, Thailand had 57 factories closing down each month. Compared with that, the current situation of closures is more severe. Overall, from 2021 to May 2024, more than 3,500 factories in Thailand have shut down, mainly in the manufacturing sector, including plastic products, leather products, rubber, machinery products, metals, wooden products, and more. Thai public television reports that most of the closures are large factories. Experts predict that more factories in Thailand will close down in the future. Zhang Xueshan, chairman of the Thailand Federation of Industries, said that Thai manufacturers are facing fierce competition from low-priced imports, especially Chinese cheap goods impacting the sales of Thai goods in the domestic market. Wan Chai, Secretary General of the Thai Industrial Standards Association, said the association is reviewing Chinese goods sold in the Thai market and hopes to eliminate low-quality Chinese goods from the Thai market within 6 months. It is reported that from September last year to April this year, the Thai Industrial Standards Association confiscated 76.2 million baht, about $2.07 million worth of low-quality Chinese goods, accounting for 38% of all low-quality imports. The Thai government has begun to impose value-added tax on Chinese goods sold online at prices below 1,500 baht. This situation reflects the impact of overcapacity, with a surge in exports leading to the closure of factories in other countries, exacerbating tensions between China and other trading partners. News Report 7. According to Agence France-Presse, the Mexican government has released data as of June 16 showing that so far this year, 1.39 million illegal immigrants have entered the United States from Mexico, coming from 177 countries. The United Nations has 193 member countries, and people from 177 countries are among the 1.39 million illegal immigrants. According to the Mexican National Institute of Immigration Studies, among these illegal immigrants, 3,000 are minors, and most of them are unaccompanied by adults. According to the National Institute of Immigration Studies, the largest number of illegal immigrants are from Venezuela, with about 380,000 people, followed by immigrants from Guatemala, Honduras, Ecuador, and Haiti. These countries have problems such as gangs, drug trafficking, and violent crime, which are serious. According to U.S. data, more than 2.4 million people illegally crossed the U.S.-Mexico border last year, with a record of 10,000 people in one day last December. News Report 8. According to China Central Television, CCTV, the Joint Investigation Team of Yexian County, Hunan Province, issued a situation report stating that on the evening of June 15, 8 female workers died while riding in a refrigerated truck on their way home from work. The incident occurred at 10 p.m. when the refrigerated truck stopped at a gas station in Yangzhen, Hongzhuang, Yexian County. The driver found the 8 workers in the truck compartment already suffocated and unconscious, so he called for help. However, by the early hours of June 16, all 8 workers had died despite rescue efforts. The driver of the truck and related personnel have been detained. According to the paper, a family member of one of the victims, Mr. Yang, revealed that the 8 female workers were aged between their 40s and 50s and were all residents of Yangzhen, Hongzhuang, Yexian County. They worked at a nearby beef processing factory in the high-tech zone and commuted daily by the refrigerated truck. The beef processing factory is several kilometers away from the gas station, with a travel time of generally 10 to 20 minutes. Witnesses said that besides the 8 female workers, there was also beef and dry ice for insulation in the refrigerated truck. Some people on Weibo suggested that the driver might have been doing this regularly, but with the recent high temperatures in the north, the rate of oxygen consumption in the refrigerated truck may have been faster than usual. Others speculated that it could be related to the dry ice, as the release of carbon dioxide from dry ice could lead to suffocation. News Report 9. Radio Free Asia reported that the Hong Kong Housing Department recently reclaimed the public housing unit of former Legislative Council member, Leung Kwok Hung's mother, citing non-payment of rent. This action has sparked criticism from some people towards the Hong Kong government, with some saying that its actions are very petty and low, and even suggesting that the Hong Kong government has become a branch of the Communist Party, reflecting the genes of the CCP. In traditional Chinese society, there is indeed the belief that misfortune should not affect the family, meaning that one should not be implicated in the wrongdoing of an individual. However, in the current political atmosphere in Hong Kong, some law enforcement agencies may adopt more severe measures against political dissenters and their families, which has sparked some social concern and controversy. News Report 10. Fujian and Guangdong provinces experienced heavy rainstorms on June 16, resulting in severe flash floods and mudslides. In Wuping County, Longyan City, Fujian Province, at least 4 people died and 2 went missing due to a mudslide. According to the Fujian Provincial Meteorological Bureau, Wuping County received 372 millimeters of precipitation within 24 hours, reaching the intensity of extreme events. In Guangdong Province, Pingyuan County, Meizhou City, also experienced 369 millimeters of precipitation, leading to severe rainstorms and floods. Videos showed that streets were flooded, with water levels reaching adult chest heights, trapping many residents. Emergency teams evacuated 11,000 people, 130,000 households were left without power, and towns were in a state of continuous loss. This year, the southern regions have experienced abnormal precipitation, with Beijing, Tianjin, Hebei, Shandong, and other areas suffering from prolonged high temperatures and severe drought, exacerbating the impact of natural disasters.